So I'm here at the Adobe Max and I have with me Varun from Adobe. Varun, let me just get to it straight up. A couple of years ago, I was here at Max when you announced a bunch of exciting features around generative AI, the whole Firefly model, and I've seen these tools, these features, these experiences evolve over the last couple of years. Now, as we get into this year's Max, can you tell me what's happening? What do you have for us in store?
Yeah, no, I think thank you, this is another great year of innovation for us. So there are like three sort of big things that we are announcing and launching. The first one is support for video ads. As we know that video ads work 12 times better than static images. Our customers are really excited about the ability to create a video ad and then publish it across platforms. Talking about publishing, one of the things that we've done is expanded the aperture of ad platforms that we support in the product. So we are announcing now in the product you can create that video ad and activate it in TikTok. You can put it on LinkedIn, you can put it on Amazon ads, as well as on DSPs, so if you're going through a demand-side platform, you can actually do that as well. And then finally, we're really excited about the fact that you can start to use some of the performance insights, what's working in that video, what is the tone of voice, what's the audio genre, what is actually in each and every frame. You can use that content insight to now start to optimize what the next version of that video looks like.
So all of this will be part of GenStudio itself, and you can natively now through the platform post on all these platforms that you mentioned.
That's right. That's right. All of these are capabilities of GenStudio for performance marketing.
Okay. Now, with the way the whole I'll call it generative AI revolution that has sort of happened now, this has made things really interesting because for a tool like GenStudio, it is obviously an important marketing tool, but it's also, there's a lot of creativity involved there, and now there's AI, so it's a mixture of everything. It's a very interesting intersection, right? So how do you look at that?
Yeah, so we believe that the world is moving towards agile marketing, and the concept of agile marketing is that performance marketers can self-serve create content that otherwise in the past they had to go to the studio teams, or other teams, right? But with the advent of AI, by having guardrails that creative teams can establish, now marketers can create that content and then react to certain moments. So if there's a cultural moment that's happening in Meta or Google, and they want to make sure that their product is participating in that, using a tool like GenStudio, they can do that. So we believe that more and more marketers will start to embrace this trend, and you'll actually start to see some positive ROI.
Are you seeing it change the traditional workflows for all these marketers as well?
Absolutely. Typically, if you think of it, the time it takes for a typical campaign to be ready can be anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. We're down to 3 to 4 days now using a tool like this.
And can you share some real-world examples where some agencies have benefited out of these, new experiences and ways of coming up with these campaigns?
Yeah, so we have both large brands as well as global agencies using it. Yeah. One example is Lenovo, which we all know. They're the famous laptop and manufacturer, and they actually are using our product both for paid media content as well as content for your first-party website. So if you go to a place like Lenovo Gaming, some of the banners that you see on that website were actually created using a product like this. And again, dramatic acceleration in terms of the cycle time it took them to get a piece of campaign out on their website or on a paid channel.
But any specific area where you see brands integrating or using GenStudio the most?
I think paid media is clearly an area because there is a massive amount of spend that happens. Annually, as you know, $1 trillion is the spend on digital media, and a big part of that is actually going to ad platforms, and that's where folks are seeing, even if you can increase the ROI by 1 or 2 percentage point, because the spend is so high, they can actually see the ROI.
Now, when you say that it has become so easy to create some of these campaigns, obviously the challenge is that anything and everything that AI generates, it is taking data from somewhere already available data, right? So what about IP protection, brand protection? How do you ensure that in that case?
Yeah, so one of the big things that we have built inside of the platform is this notion of the brand guidelines, right? So when you're creating any piece of content in GenStudio, everything has to be based on the brand guidelines that you provided. And that's a big area of differentiation and capabilities that we provide. Now, once the content is created, we have a sort of an AI adversarial network where another model will go in and actually compare every piece of content across all of your brand guidelines and give you a score between 1 and 100 and say, is it meeting your guidelines or not? And then somebody can go it as part of the setup, can say anything that's below a 90 score on 1 to 100, nothing should be published on that. So what's amazing about this platform is that you can create these brand guidelines, so then you can have the peace of mind in terms of making it available for marketers to self-serve.
Okay, all right, interesting. And I mean, if I talk about future now, obviously this has been a very interesting journey, but where do you see the next shift happening when it comes to GenStudio?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of focus right now to make sure that the performance insight is starting to inform the creative. So far, a lot of our customers are focused on making sure that the content that's being produced by AI is on brand. We believe that will continue to be the focus, but what's going to be even more important is that is this content going to perform? If I can increase my ROAS, return on ad spend, by 10% or 5%, that's huge given the budgets for a lot of these brands. So we believe that the next frontier in this technology and what we are doing is informing the creative based on the performance that's happening around all of these ad units that they're trafficking.
What sort of impact do you see on the market size? Because you spoke about how it's like a $1 trillion industry in itself. Do you see it, any projections that you have?
Yeah, I mean, I think like with everything that's happening around LLM and top of the funnel getting disrupted because it's going through LLM mediated interfaces, I think we believe that brand is going to be even more important. And how you show up through all of the different channels and the content that serves you is going to be critical. So we expect this market to expand further.
And the very obvious questions, what happens to the jobs? Because obviously when AI can do everything, you are looking at, and I mean, the way you also explained, the obvious question in my mind is, what do the creators or the agencies do if everything can be done by AI, right? So how do you look to protect that?
Yeah. So I think like when you think of it, a lot of this is going to get automated through AI. And then the question is, what is it that's going to distinguish one ad versus the other? If two companies are going after the same user and both of the content is being produced by AI, we strongly believe that it's going to be the creative idea that's going to stand out. That unique concept that is so human, like the creative actually is an expert at that, is where the focus is going to be. So that's what we believe the future is, which is human plus AI as the true solution. And we believe that creativity is going to be even more important in this world of AI.
So it's going to be human plus AI, not human versus AI.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Varun.
Thank you, Manav. Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.